This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. One of the things I've always wondered is when we're trying to wake people up to what's going on, how nobody notices that all the billionaires, millionaires, celebrities, all the people who call us crazy conspiracy nuts, how come nobody says anything about the fact that all of these people on record have underground, quote unquote, doomsday bunkers? I'm talking $1 million homes built underground. Is anybody suspicious? So when they call us conspiracy theorists, what is it exactly then that these people who tell us that everything is so wonderful and great, like Oprah and Tom Cruise, etc., why are they and Mark Zuckerberg and all of them whose names we always hear, Bill Gates, etc., why are they putting so much money and investing so much money into building homes under the ground? Well, if people actually use common sense, they'd actually start asking that question. But instead, they think that it's just some type of spectacle, because that's as far as their brains allow them to think. Oh, it's just a celebrity being kooky, right? Kim Kardashian's building an underground bunker. Kim's just being kooky and weird. They're just weird celebrities. They do those sorts of things. Oh, what about Mark Zuckerberg? Well, he's just building it because he can't think of what to do with all the money he has, so he's just doing it for fun. That's how dumb these people are. Clearly, all of these people know that something is coming, and what's coming is not what they're going to tell you is coming, of course, because these people are not fearing Russia. These people are not fearing China. These people are obviously in bed with those countries and those governments. These people know that this surface level of the earth is going to be destroyed. Now, some people out there will say that they're going to do this because they're going to hide from God's wrath. But you can also look at what they're doing with the climate and the destruction of the earth, and the fact that once people start getting wise to what's going on, once they start seeing the chaos that ensues on this level and start realizing what green screens are, that they might be able to put one and one together and say, like what we're seeing with Maui and the pushback to Oprah and the pushback to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They're starting to see that, right? And now more and more people are going to start realizing this stuff as more and more chaos ensues as to why these people are all safe and secure, and why and how they knew ahead of time to build out these bunkers. Now, of course, this goes deeper than just having an underground bunker. We know that they have underground cities in the Ozarks, in Emerald City, all around the earth. There are underground cities built. Now, we've seen things. I'm going to show you clips, of course, of these so you can see for yourself. And of course, we all are aware of this. But they love to tie this into military. They love to tie this into them building this stuff because they're afraid that soldiers from Russia are going to march into America. These are all built, and they're all going there. Yes, possibly to avoid God's wrath, but also to avoid us, and also to avoid the fires and the storms and the floods that they create on the Earth's surface as they wait it out to come in and rebuild on the Earth's surface. All the resources that you've heard about that are just missing and gone, the shortages, etc., where do you think all that is? Even something as little as all that missing toilet paper, right? The shortages of toilet paper, the shortages of meat. Where do you think all that meat is? Where do you think it all? It's all frozen underground. Where do you think all that carbon's going they're vacuuming out of the sky? It's going underground. And where do you think all those crops they're telling farmers to destroy are going? They're going underground. And this is all happening right in front of us as the zombies continue to sleep. Let me show you some of the stuff, including, of course, the hilarity of our own government and the White House having an underground bunker. Now, of course, people are like, well, of course the government should, and the president, even though these are the most useless people on the face of the earth, our politicians and our quote-unquote leaders who aren't leaders, they're followers and puppets, bought and paid for, who do nothing for the people, and pretend, of course, day in and day out, like they're trying to fight for the people with this charade we see that I expose every day going on in the Senate, the House, and in the White House. But it's funny that we look at this stuff the way that if you look at the perception there's supposed to be when you see this video of the White House having underground bunkers and all this stuff, as if the boogeyman is going to drop a bomb and we have to hide all the world leaders underground. They go underground every day. People don't realize to go into these offices, to go into the House, etc. For the most part, they're traveling underground. And they don't realize that all of our tax money, the common person, has gone into building underground cities, underground highways, and these are all more than just places for them to live. I mean, think about it. They're living mainly underground, pretending to live on the surface. So just the things that they're doing out in the open underground are unimaginable because these tunnels, etc., are all built and these cities are built so that they can live the way that they want to live out in the open underground. Eventually on the surface they will, with children and the acts that they commit and the ritual sacrifice that they commit. They do it out in the open underground in these cities. So let's take a look at some of the underground cities, including, of course, the underground bunker, the Doomsday Bunker that was featured one year on the Kardashians. Because, it's just, nobody wants to ask questions as to why these people are preparing and what they're preparing for. You never hear them talking about the stuff that I'm talking about, right? Now, if somebody saw that I had a Doomsday Bunker, they'd be like, well, it makes sense. The guy's crazy. He's a tinfoil hat wearer. He believes in all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, fine. Nobody wants to ask the question as to why all of these rich people have bunkers. And they're really just chalking it up to the fact that they have excess money, so they're just doing it for fun or they're doing it as a hobby. I mean, really? Really? What are they so afraid of that they need to put that kind of money into a bunker? Oh, right. Us. Take a look.
Behind the thinking of the Cold War's doomsday planners is a strange mentality. It's okay to destroy the planet and kill nearly everyone on it. Because if you're one of the elite, you get to survive.
These crazy Cold War bunkers, they're like fantasy landscapes. They're kind of like monuments to elite delusion and paranoia, because they won't work, but they embody this self-justification. Yeah, sure, we can invest billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in atomic weapons and even use them, and civilization will survive. That's deranged thinking.
It's 2017, just after Trump's inauguration. Media theorist Douglas Rushkoff shows up at an exclusive resort to deliver a talk about the digital future to a group of wealthy tech executives.
I was in the green room waiting to go on when 5 men came into the green room and sat around this little table they had there. And I found out that there was no talk for me to go do, that these guys were the talk. And they didn't want to hear the whole thing I had prepared. They just started peppering me with these questions, like Bitcoin or Ethereum? Which one should they bet on? Or augmented reality or virtual reality? Which did I think would win? And then the third question, the one that made me realize that this was more than I signed up for, they said, Alaska or New Zealand? Meaning, where should they situate their bunkers for the event?
For years, New Zealand has been an apocalypse escape destination for America's elite. Notable home buyers include the tech tycoon Peter Thiel, an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump. He's also bet that America was not the place to be if things collapsed, so he arranged for a New Zealand passport just in case. Other American elites were getting similar ideas.
The rest of my hour with them was them asking me all these really specific questions about how to water test their plans for the apocalypse, for the electromagnetic pulse, or the economic downturn, or the disease or war that would necessitate them leaving their Silicon Valley ranches and retreating to these fortified bunkers in the middle of nowhere.
The government's secret plans to save itself now have competition from the secret plans of the 1%. From converted Cold War bunkers and missile silos to specially outfitted yachts, a doomsday industry caters to the mega-rich. Luxury bunkers with indoor pools, artificial sunlight, and supplies to stay sealed off from the world for years. From the Cold War till now, the most powerful people end up being the ones most afraid. And today, even as the actions of a few at the top have helped push poverty rates near their highest levels in half a century, it's the rich who fear losing control. Elite anxiety is on the rise.
The billionaires, they understand that they're playing a dangerous game, that they are running out of room to externalize the damage of the way their companies operate. Eventually, there's going to be, the social unrest that leads to your undoing, which is why these same people are looking at creating bomb shelters, going to Australia or New Zealand.
What I would say is this was sort of an acceleration of the notion of what we had called gated communities, where you try to insulate yourself from the social discord that's outside. But here, it was an evacuation plan.
For the billionaires in the green room with Rushkoff, the biggest concern is protecting themselves from the unruly masses.
The question we ended up spending the majority of time on was, how do I maintain control of my security force after my money is worthless? So these guys had already secured Navy SEALs and security forces to come and guard their facilities for them. But if the US economy goes belly up, if the government's gone, if dollars are worthless, then why are those guys going to stay and protect them? Once they start talking in those terms, it's really easy to puncture a hole in their plan. So you've got 20 Navy SEALs hired to protect you and your family from the marauding mobs of people with jeeps and bazookas. Let's say that they've got great weapons and great strategies. Why are they defending you? Why are they letting you be in charge? Why won't they want their commander to be the one in charge? Any monarch or ruler who is depending on their military to maintain their power ends up in a military coup, right? They end up taken over by their junta. It doesn't work that way. So what can we do? And there's one of the, I was thinking, we could do shock collars. Get them to wear shock collars so I could, zap them if they're going to go off, and they understand that that's the price. Shock collars, really? You really think shock collars are going to work? They're going to wait till you're asleep in order to grab the little control button. It's just not going to work. The most powerful people in the world, they see themselves as utterly incapable of actually creating a future in which everything's going to be okay. Bet all their money on how do they, as individuals, somehow survive that disaster. They're destroying the whole thing. They're destroying the whole thing because they can't see a way out because of that paucity of imagination, because they don't want to acknowledge the larger operating system on which they're functioning. And they're slowly waking up to it, but rather than sort of come out of their mental bunkers and look at, wow, how could I operate in a less destructive, extractive way? Instead, they're just thinking, what's my safety plan? What's my escape hatch? How much food do I need to stick in my basement in order to survive the thing?
So the doomsday bunker, the whole narrative behind it, that, the common person, again, thinks about a doomsday bunker and they think about what they consider tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. They then go out and worship the Kim Kardashians, the Tom Cruises of the world. They idolize the Mark Zuckerbergs, at least the wealth that Mark Zuckerberg has. I don't know if any individual actually idolizes him. If they do, put them on the list of creepiest people alive, along with Mark himself, or itself, I should say, because another species, clearly. But they idolize these people, yet they never ask the question as to why they're doing these things, right? And we know why they're doing it. They are hiding. They are planning on hiding out. And we're hearing more and more stories about these things being built. We're hearing more and more stories, not just of old military underground, but of celebrities and billionaires who just continue to go out of their way to invest so much money into doing this. And why does the common person not ask a question as to why they're doing it, or think for 1 second that maybe people like me and you know what's going on, and these people are preparing for it? Because they've been so programmed to think and dismiss it as crazy, kooky behavior, or of course, the one that they'll give you is, well, you never know with, Russia, because they can always use the boogeyman of Russia or Al-Qaeda or all these other threats that don't exist. And of course, they'll probably start telling you that they have underground bunkers because of the climate. The same people who are responsible for doing this to the climate happen to have underground homes, the majority of them. Now, what are they doing to the climate? Again, weather manipulation, control weather chaos. destroying everything, hurting people, and then rebuilding this entire country and the entire earth, all the countries of the earth, actually, into smart cities, into all of these imprisonment camps for people who don't oblige. We know what's coming, but we could clearly see from the behavior of these people that they're openly admitting to this stuff, and it doesn't set anything off in anyone's minds to be suspicious about why they're doing it, why they're investing in it, why they're preparing for the end. They just laugh it off and dismiss it like they do to everything else. And that's why we're in the predicament we're in. And that's why it's a struggle every day to wake people up. But hopefully a video like this will make somebody, just because I'm asking the question, ask the question and say, why do all these people put all their money into this type of stuff? If they call everybody else conspiracy theorists and they don't, oh, right. Because I'm sure they'll come out with another excuse like how they're preparing for the climate change by building underground because they know the Earth's surface is getting too hot to survive on, right? That's what they'll tell everyone, and everyone will believe it. And you'll say, well, why did Tom Cruise have one of these 15 years ago? Oh, well, because he knew then. Nobody listened to him. Oh, okay. Because these people are just lost causes. So underground bunkers, underground cities, something to keep an eye on as this, with the power grid. Again, talking about the power grid getting shut down, the previous video I did, if you didn't see it, definitely check it out, because the programming continues to tell us that the power grid is going to go down, to be prepared for it to go down. And these people are prepared. They are prepared because they know on the surface there's going to be chaos amongst regular people. And they don't want to be near the chaos. And the last thing they ever want is for anyone to realize that they're in a certain secret location because they're afraid of what people would do to them. So if celebrities were sitting on the Earth's surface and the grid went down and all this stuff happened and they shut the gas lines so people couldn't even use generators, etc., don't you think people would target the celebrities like Oprah? Of course they would. Of course they would, right? They would be like, oh, Oprah lives there. Listen to what people in Maui said after the fact. Why isn't Oprah letting us in? Why isn't Oprah doing anything? She's just handing out pillows, right? So if chaos hit, then people would start looking at them and saying, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? And they know that. So they have this prepared so that they can go underground. But more so than that, the notion needs to be, well, what are they expecting that they would do this? Why are they preparing? Oprah has an underground bunker in Maui. You could see it visibly in photos that she does, or he does, around its property, where you can see doorways into the sides of mountains or little hills and stuff like that. People just think, what? That she hides toilet paper in there? What's she hiding? Pool supply? Give me a break. We all know what these people have planned because they tell us and they reveal it. And that's what I expose on this channel every day. A reminder, please go over to my other channel, Uprising Revival. If you haven't yet, I'm uploading over there as well. Every day I've been uploading videos over there. Whether it's one you've seen or not, I definitely recommend you sub. Some of it is stuff that is lost content, archived content that I'm digging through. All of those are staying up. Everything's staying up for 7 days and then being removed off of YouTube. And all of it is being put up on the website. People over on the website can see, if you're on the website, that there's a lot of videos that I found, archive videos. I have tons of them thanks to a specific individual. They know who they are, who has saved a lot of these. There's a bunch of people who actually have. So I appreciate that. It has helped me out tremendously in losing content over the years, losing computers over the years, et cetera, et cetera. So I've had thousands of videos removed because it's too much truth for the internet to apparently handle, at least this platform. So definitely check out the other channels now. And check out the website, uprisingrevival.com, if you haven't yet. Hope to see more people over there. I thank y'all for being here. I said y'all. I don't know why, but thank you for being here. Hope you are all doing well. God bless you as always, and your families.